Hey bookworms, welcome back to my channel and to another book review. Today I will discuss The Collector by John Fowles. This is a thriller from the 60s about a man who decides to kidnap a young woman that he believes he is in love with just to keep her around, just like the butterflies he collects, but alive. And he believes that with time she will get to know him and maybe even fall in love with him because yeah, that always works. Anyway, we mostly see things from his point of view as he tries to impress her and she tries to find a way out of the situation. So this book was rather interesting, mostly because for the most part it's from Clegg, the kidnapper's point of view. However, don't make the mistake of thinking that it portrays him in any positive light. He may be the main character, but he's definitely not the hero here. He is horrible and obviously has very little connection to reality. The author never tries to make him sympathetic either. This is the 60s, way before Twilight, Maleficent, Shrek, these sort of works, and it's not about seeing how Clegg is just misunderstood or anything like that. It's more of an interesting psychological analysis of how a monster like this would explain his actions or how he sees the situation. It was really interesting. Very frustrating, but interesting. I think frustrating is a good way to describe my feelings during reading, not due to the book being subpar or anything like that, but it's frustrating to see the situation of a woman being just stuck there, trying to manipulate him or escape, or even trying to explain to him why, if he loves her, you all know this isn't love, right? He should let her go. But he just refuses to accept it. Now I want to point out some concerns you might have and trigger warnings. The book is not explicit by any way. This is the 1960s. Naughty things were done, but not so openly in literature. I remember they said go to bed with someone many times instead of having sex. Also, Clegg believes he is in love with Miranda, the victim, and he wants to keep her in order for her to eventually want to stay with him. So accept the physical capture of her and the mental issues that come from being captive, he never abuses her in any way. He never hits her, sexually assaults her, rapes her, nothing. So if those specific things are things that you can't handle, they are not in a book. And other than that, yeah, it's about a guy who kidnaps a random innocent girl and holds her captive. If you can't handle that, then, you would know. So as I mentioned, most of the book is from Clegg's perspective, but around the midpoint of the book there is a change and we start getting Miranda's point of view until almost the very end of the book. And then at that point the book starts getting a lot less interesting. So first let me say, this girl is a total kick-ass. She is very smart and she understands very quickly what's going on and never stops trying to turn the situation into her advantage. She realizes that he wants to please her and she constantly tries to use it in order to escape. However, to be honest, if I have ever met her in real life, I probably wouldn't be able to stand her. She is an art student, a total pretentious beatnik who only believes in love and beauty and hates everything fake. Now, what is fake? Well, I never managed to really understand her definition of it, and it's basically anything that isn't what her art teachers say. Art is good, but photography is bad because it's dead, whatever. She's also one of those relatively rich people with good upbringing from a middle to high social class that on one hand claim not to care about class and money, but on the other hand are very critical of people who are uneducated, even though they're mostly uneducated because they aren't as privileged as her. So she's also a hypocrite, but I feel also a very young and easily influenced hypocrite. And then there are her memories. Okay, look, I appreciate that in a horrible situation like she finds herself in, you try to maintain your sanity by thinking of good things, friends and family, trying to reminisce, But she just goes on and on about her relationship with one of her professors on whom she had, let's say, a crush on, and oh my god, it's so boring. It got very old after a very short time, and I get it made her happy, in her captivity, but it was just so tedious. Am I being too hard on her? Again, I get the hardship of the situation, but as a reader, I didn't want to read about that. But the rest of the book was good. I enjoyed it. It feels weird to say it about a book like that, but you should see the book I'll review next time if you think this one is bad. Anyway, I feel the biggest strength of this book is the fact that it showed how a perpetrator would see the world and the reasoning of him committing these crimes. If you think you're too sensitive or can't handle a book like that, then you can handle this book. What else can I say? But if you're just worried about graphic violence or sexual assault, then just to mention, there aren't any here. Also, I want to point out that is not to say that you cannot abuse a person by doing things other than physical assault. But that's where I'm going to end this video. The book was very interesting, fast read, and I'm glad that Fowles didn't attempt to make Clegg sympathetic. As a psychological thriller, it's pretty good. I just wish that the second half didn't drag so much. But other than that, it was very interesting. And that's it for my video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And also leave me a comment below so that YouTube won't forget about me. Guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.